Hi friends, I am Dr. B.V. Rao of Usha Clinic and founder of the websites qmedicaldoubts.blogspot.in and raghavamedicaldoubts.com. Through these videos, I am providing the basic knowledge about the commonly occurring diseases, treatment and surgery details when necessary. For the medical knowledge to general people and for reference to medicals. Today I am going to discuss about the tetanus neonatorum. Tetanus neonatorum is a highly dangerous infectious disease causing infection to the newborn infants in tropical countries caused by the Clostridium tetani. The spores of the organism are present in the dung of cattle, goats and poultry. The infection usually spreads while cutting the cord with unsterile scissors or infection of the cord with infected dust. Incubation period. It is usually occur in 5th to 7th day after birth. Stray cases may occur 2nd to 20th day. Symptoms and signs. Trismus. The infant who was feeding well stops sucking, maybe due to the inability to suck due to lacking of the jaw muscle, which may progress to trismus. Rhizus sardonicus. The baby assumes a characteristic posture due to continuous muscle spasticity. The jaw is clenched, lips drawn laterally and upward and eyes raised, called Rhizus sardonicus. Spasm. Increased bouts of spasm results in marked rhesus facies. Opisthotonus. Hyperextension of the legs and flexion of the arms with the clenched fists. Spasm rapidly increases till they become continuous. Consciousness. It is present till the end unless there is asphyxia. If dies, may be during tetanic spasm from cerebral anoxia. Complications. Pneumonia, hyperpyrexia, peripheral failure and tympanitis. Grading of a case. Grade 1. Only trismus is present. Grade 2. Trismus and spasms are present. Grade 3. Trismus, spasm and incubation period of less than 7 days. Grade 4. Trismus, spasm, short incubation and period of onset 48 hours or less. Grade 5. Temperature of 37.5 degrees centigrade or 99 degree Fahrenheit. 24 hours after admission. Treatment. Antitoxin. A moderate dose of anti-tetanus serum 10,000 international units by IV route and 20,000 international units by IM. Drug therapy. Sedatives. Phenobarbital 5 mg per kg body weight or diazepam 2 mg per kg body weight may be used or combination of both. Antibiotics. Procaine penicillin 2 lakhs and streptomycin 1/8 gram are used. Muscle relaxant. Tubocurarine 10 mg in Hylase IM TDS or mefenacin 1 gram hourly by stomach tube for repeated spasms, but must be used along with IPPR. Steroids. Steroids have shown considerable efficacy. Feeding. Only glucose is given by gastric tube. which is passed through the nose while the patient is under GA for tracheostomy. Stomach aspirated every 4 hours to ensure there is no residue. If not possible for feeding, IV fluids may be given. Thoracostomy done under tracheostomy done under general anesthesia with an endotracheal tube past size 1 or 0.5 mm. Pollinger tracheostomy tube 30 mm long modified for IPPR is used to improve the prognosis as anoxia due to laryngospasm or pharyngospasm with retention of saliva in the pharynx is common. Frequent sucking of trachea and bronchi is essential to prevent aspiration of secretions and humidification. IPPR. In some, it may be essential to use IPPR to reduce the anoxia. A simple modification of standard Radcliffe's respiratory pump makes it suitable for infants. Ventilation while on IPPR is assessed by measuring the alveolar P carbon dioxide. Maintenance of total respiratory compliance and clear airway is essential for ventilation. Physiotherapy of chest and direct aspiration of obstructed bronchi through the tracheostomy stoma clears the secretions. Complications. Pneumonia is most common and can be managed by antibiotics and supportive measures. A respiratory obstruction. It can be managed by tracheostomy. Skilled nursing care and oxygen. Cardiac complications. Hypertension and cardiac arrhythmias can be treated with hypotensives and propranolol. The relaxation of the restrictions can be, the patient can be kept in ill ventilated wards instead of dark rooms. Minimum nursing facilities for continuous observation, tube feeding and availability of simple equipment as suction apparatus, feeding tubes and oxygen are essential. Babies should be under sedated to prevent respiratory failure. Frequent supervision of a pediatrician is important. The mother or attendant should be taught to call the staff in case of emergency. Nursing care. They should be available to recognize the minor changes in the baby and manage corrective measures. Prognosis. The mortality was 80% in spite of IPPR. Now, in spite of relaxed treatment, the mortality became 20%. Malnutrition increased the mortality. Prevention. Immunizing the expectorant mothers is important with 3 doses of tetanus toxoid at intervals of 4 to 5 weeks since 6 months onwards. Aseptic measures of delivery are important. That's all about the tetanus neonatorum, and in the next video I will discuss about some other disease. Thank you.